What's the strangest thing you've ever been caught doing? It was 3 a.m. and 15-year-old me was taking a shit and got a blood nose. Now for context. I get real bad nose bleeds and usually just keep my head up and it goes away. Well, I was bored. So I thought, what if I just keep my head down and let it drip? I know, very stupid. Blood was all over the floor. I had every intent to just clean it up with tissues and flush it. No evidence of my little experiment. What I didn't know was that my mum was actually awake and was waiting for me to finish in the toilet for her turn. I didn't lock the door because it was 3 a.m. and I didn't think I needed to. Well, she opens the door.
Semen demon, why are you taking so ill?
She sees the blood, starts freaking TF out. Thinks I'm either dead or dying. I start yelling, trying to explain myself. Mum starts crying, thinking she's gonna lose her son. My sister walks out her room from the crying and the yelling. Sees the blood. Freaks TF out as well. After a bit of panic, I eventually explained my stupid experiment. I cleaned it up and we all went to bed. But I don't think anybody slept after that traumatic experience. You're supposed to pinch and look down. Never lean back. Something to do with the risk of blood trickling into your breathing pipe and increased chances of suffocation choking. This isn't me. But this story is so weird. My grandma was once caught by a UPS delivery guy in the process of biting her toenails. She was in the sunroom with the screen door open. And the guy walked up to the door and witnessed that. Rip granny, you weirdo. One morning, I woke up strangely early. Around 5 or 6, without an alarm. I was bored and proceeded to lift up my top mattress. And just laying between the bottom and top ones. Mom walked in, extremely confused. I couldn't really explain, I didn't know what I was doing myself. She asked if I needed help. Running in on all fours up the stairs in underwear. Didn't realize my best friend had already come over. And I ran into him. At dick level. That sounds like some grudge shit right there. When I was around 10 years old, I was getting curious about sex, so I decided to look it up in the dictionary. Wouldn't you know it, my ultra-conservative mother walks in the room. So I try to play it off like I was looking up the Haida Native American tribe. She called me out for being in the S's. But I doubled down and pretended I was possibly dyslexic. What a tangled web I wove. This reminds me of all the doll orgies I would host. I remember once, my mom unexpectedly walked in, so I hurriedly sat on a pile of naked pointy Barbies and Kens, as if that would hide the obvious. Oh man. So I must have been about 12. I was in the car with my mom. To set the scene. It was a 3-row soccer mom van. And I was in the second row behind the passenger seat with my mom driving. Well, since I was 12, I got my random hormone boner, strange and awkward enough, right? Well, I decided that I would pretend I was driving and that my boner was the stick shift. Mom caught me. Had a co-worker that was working at a customer site. He had a creepy little crush on one of the women that worked there. But it was apparently innocent enough that no one really cared. Until one day, the woman came back from lunch and saw him pick up the cushion from her chair and sniff it. He was asked to leave,